So quick 3 Ps, purpose, process, payoff of this session, right? To illuminate our SEL initiatives in Windsor, some of the cool and amazing work that we've been able to do, walkthrough of our SEL priorities and progress, and a payoff, better understanding SEL and how we are transforming culture within Windsor Public Schools. So what is social emotional learning? This is what has brought all of us here, right? So before, and just quickly, how many of you all didn't know too much about SEL before coming here? Yep. That is awesome. So one of the definitions that we actually leverage and use within social emotional learning, because sometimes there's a distinction and confusion around, okay, like what really is SEL? Is it touchy feeling? Is it therapy based? Is it this, that, and the third? The process through which children and adults develop the skills, attitudes, and values necessary to understand and manage life's tasks. So we've been working closely with the Urban Assembly, with Brandon Frame's organization around that. And one of the things we learned within our partnership with them over the year is very, very important to define social emotional learning, right? And be very intentional about the actual working definition that you're leading with. Because if not, we all can look at the political landscape. There's individuals that can say, well, social emotional learning is this, social emotional learning is that. It's culturally, it's critical race theory. It's actually ideology. It's killing the babies. It's like, no, this is our working definition, right? So children and adults, right, because it works both ways, right? If we're only focusing on children, which we do, and it's the bread and butter of what we do, but it's actually the adults that serve those kids. If they don't understand that, where are you within the social emotional spectrum of your life, your instruction and your practice, how are you actually going to serve the students in which we serve, right? So we're very intentional about that language, right? To develop the skills. For us, we lead in our district. Social emotional learning is nothing more, nothing less than skill development. That's what it is. So just like you acquire skills for literacy, just like you get skills for math, so forth and so on, when we've talked to our district, to our community, our board, no, this is skill development. So are we then suggesting that these skills, when we look at the model or the ultimate model and the aspect of a graduate that we would hope, are we saying that having self-awareness skills would not allow them to be successful in life? We're not getting into the nuances of what curriculum are you using? What does this look like? How are you doing? No, before we get there, we need you to understand that it's skills development. And the more and more that we get our students to be able to understand and articulate their skills, our educators to be able to understand and understand the spectrum of where their skills lies, that's how we're going to actually move this work forward, and that's how we've been able to do it. So all communication that I've been able to do within our district is centered around skill development, because you don't have an argument for skills. So, okay, if my student doesn't have self-management, how can they possibly get the math skills that you're saying that they need to be successful? If the teacher is not socially aware of black and brown students in the classroom, how will she or he activate the learning for that day? It's impossible to do that. So they need the skill in order to do that. And that's how we've been able to move and operate moving forward. So I'm going to go through our priorities the way that when I came from higher ed, how I was able to prioritize the work within our district. It's like, nope, we're going to organize ourselves around this. We're going to get to the root. And then from the root, as a scholar activist, we're going to do some specific things in order for us to move forward and get better. Right? So number one, I conducted initial SEL strategy with all school admin, district office, family and community partnerships. Right? When you look at the greater will of social emotional learning, yes, it is the student, it's the school, but it's the community, it's the partners that we serve. So, one, back to that definition, what are you all's definition of social emotional learning? No. Here's the definition that we're working with, right? So when we're going out into the community and we're empowering family, we're not empowering them with ideology, we're empowering them with skills. When we're going out and we're trying to leverage and get community partnerships to align with our work, we're not trying to just say, hey, we need to galvanize so your organization could be this, that. No, we want to partner with alignment to say your skills are in alignment with the skill development that our students, our district, our families need. And by leading with that, those strategy meaning it was very intentional, it was very precise to say, if we're in this spectrum together, then we can move forward. If not, then we can figure out something else at another time. But I have to make sure that there's no other missing voids or opportunities for board members or politics to get into what we're trying to build. Hired a team of SEL specialists assigned to our schools. So within our district, Windsor has 6 schools. So typically it's reflective of most kind of suburban districts in the country, right? Not too many of the most of the bigger cities will have like the larger districts, but Windsor is kind of a representation of most districts, right? You have about 5,000 students comprised within the district, and within that are 6 schools, 2 P2s, 2 3 to 5s, 1 middle school, 1 high school, and that's how we've broken up. So my team is dispersed within each of those buildings specifically to help with the skill development of our students. Conducted district-wide professional development trainings with teachers, staff, and SEL specialists. Once again, very specific. This is not your ordinary PDs that we do and we navigate. I'm sure every one of us have been in the PDs before, and I know as a consultant you've delivered a lot of PDs. Oftentimes educators have been socialized. Oh, okay, well I'm going to go into PD, I'm going to get a lot of theory, I'm going to get a lot of stuff that I don't care about, just as the reality. And I don't know, how can I make this real? So no, the PDs that we actually do is actually intentional around skill development. I'll kind of give you all an example of a video that we use because I'm big on like video modeling. I don't care about anything else when it comes to PDs. For the most part, when it comes to educators, is I need you to see something, I need it to be real, and then once you see, I need you to articulate what did you see, and then now let me help empower you along the way from that perspective.